I remember just like, everybody just Charlie, Charlie, Charlie. And I'm like, oh, yeah. My name is Charles, but yeah, Charlie's cool. I like Charlie. I didn't really like Chuck. Get into that later. But Charlie, like only certain people called me Charlie. Like my dad's business partner called me Charlie. He's like, hey, Charlie, how you doing? Like, I loved it. Like, hey, sure, how you doing? Then people outside that like strangers, like, hey, Charlie, how are you doing? And I just, like, I'm great. Thank you so much. Like, wow. Like, my dad, like, must be, like, super popular if everybody just knows me. Like, he told me, like, don't go downtown by yourself because it's a weird place compared to where you're used to. So, and I was just like, why was he calling this weird? This is awesome. Like, everybody knows my name. Like, oh, I feel so popular. Cool. I loved it. I didn't mind. Now, when I was in one of my English classes in high school, I remember we had a guest speaker who was like the security guard for what we had. It's called Smoker's Corner, which today wouldn't fly. But at my high school, on school grounds, like you just walk out the door and here it is, Smoker's Corner, was the designated area for all of us students at Smoky Hill High School, go Buffs, to go smoke a cigarette. Now, not to throw, I'm sure this guy is long retired, but, like, the legal age to buy cigarettes was 18, but for some reason, my school didn't really emphasize on that. They just had a smoker's corner. Anybody I was a freshman when I was like, oh my gosh, a place where I can smoke and not hide from my parents. Like, how great. And I was ending up paying like $30 a pack of cigarettes. I was like, these cigarettes are expensive. Later did I realize that every adult that I was like, excuse me, sir, could you buy me some cigarettes? Oh yeah. How much you got there? $30? Oh yeah, I'll buy you 3 cigarettes. Here you go. Here's 1 pack of cigarettes. It's like, geez, like cigarettes are expensive. Like that's what I used to think. Then I realized those guys have been chipping me this whole time. And I was like, I can't wait to do that, to pay that forward to the next kid. Maybe pay it forward. But I was just like, what am I going to do if a person, a minor like me comes and asks, like, can I ask you to buy me some cigarettes? Like, this was like the question that posed in my mind. Kind of ate away at me. But it was weird because no kid ever asked me that or anything. A kid asked if I would buy him a video game. And I was like, I mean, I'm not going to like buy it for you. But he was just like, no, my grandpa just won't let me play Grand Theft Auto. And I was just like, oh yeah, I totally get that. But like, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 15 or something like that. And then that's when I realized like games have ratings now. Like Mario Kart didn't come with a rating when I played. Bond didn't even, maybe Bond did. But either way, that's when I realized times have changed. Wow. I thought a kid would ask me to buy cigarettes or liquor or something. A video game? All right, this is completely out of left field. But again, it's just, I just react in a way where it's just like, I'm not like associating any kind of stored knowledge whenever I don't know, I interacted with people, I guess, or that's how I used to be. It's just, I was just so innocent and so naive. Just like, like, oh my God, yeah, everybody knows me, Charlie, like, yeah. Until that one, like disabled Vietnam vet I met downtown who was in a wheelchair. I'm rollerblading like across the street. I'm like, just lagging. I'm like, I see my friends already all over there. And they're like, come on, Charles, hurry up, dude. Yeah, I'm coming. And then as I'm in the middle of the street, I hear a voice from the other side of the street like, Charlie, Charlie, is it you? I'm like, what? You know, like, and I turn around. He's like, I knew it was you, Charlie. Oh my God, like, come here, come here. And I was like, okay. So I turn back around and I start skating towards this guy. And my friends are just like, what are you doing? And I was like, he knows my name. Like, he probably knows my dad. I got to talk to this guy. They're like, duh. So as they're waiting at the other side to, you know, get the green light to walk, I'm already on here talking, interacting with this guy who's just like, you know, I'm just like, oh, hey, sir, sorry. Like, do I know you? Do you know my dad? And he told me, you don't know me, Charlie, but I know you. Shake the hand that shook the world. Like, it's still, like, it's as vivid as that. I can still remember. Shake the hand that shook the world. And I was like, okay, yeah. My dad taught me handshake. I shook his hand. As I'm sitting here shaking his hand, I could see like this transformation. And the only way I could like describe something similar was like watching my dad like start to drink and just be like all happy. And then all of a sudden, just after one more sip, just, and then it was like that. Just, what happened? Did I blink and miss something? So I'm, shake your hand. He grabs my hand. Then all of a sudden, boom. And I just feel the grip get tighter and tighter. I'm like, okay. Now I'm like like a freshman in high school here, 15 years old. And now I'm like, okay, sir, well, thank you very much. Nice to meet you. I got to go meet my friends. And he's just giving me this look. And I'm just like, okay. And I just try to get out of this handshake. And no joke, I don't know what to do. I'm like just trying to skate away and this guy won't let go of my hand. So literally people driving, people walking, just see me, this little Asian kid on rollerblades, like dragging this homeless vet down the street, like holding his hand. Which is ironic because my dad told me about how he was downtown. He just saw like these punk skater kids just like beating up this old man. I was just like, were they skateboarders or rollerbladers? Because I think I know what he's all. Like, as I was just dragging this guy with me, my friends made it across the street and just charged at him on skates. Hey, and then just let go of him and just knocked the dude. And the dude just went flying out of his chair and we just skated off. That moment lived with me forever. Like, I was just like, what just happened? And that was like an illness. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, what, why do we have to treat that person that way? Like, yeah, like, if that's what my dad saw, like, no, yeah, like, it just ate at me. And then it wasn't until like, I was like 18 years old and like finally just had the voice to just ask him, like, I mean, okay, granted, like that speaker that we had back up, the Smoker's Corner security guard, he was the one who really pointed out to me because I saw this guy like every day, but I tried to avoid him because I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be here, so I was just kind of staying away. And I heard like this rumor that he just was very, very racist towards Asian people. That's just the rumor that was like, stay away from him, Charles, dude. Like, he doesn't like you. Like, he doesn't even know me. What do you mean he doesn't like me? Like, whatever. But when he came in, like, he's like, yes, I'm blah. I don't even remember his name. I'm the guard over here. And I'm like, yeah, we all know this. And then he said, I am a veteran of the Vietnam War. And I'm here to tell you about my experience. And he's just like, and he's going through it. And I'm just like, oh, Vietnam War. Like, wow, this is, like I'm fascinated by American history and just all that stuff. So I'm like, okay. And he's just like talking, like, yeah, it was just crazy times. And he's like, I remember he was like, you have to like use an outhouse. Like, do you know what an outhouse is, Charlie? And I was just like, yeah, like a bathroom. And I was like, what? Like, how did this guy know? Like, it was just like, yeah, a bathroom. And then, yeah, right, Charlie. And I was like, how does this guy know my name? I've never interacted with this guy. And then I'm like, and all of a sudden, like, Full Metal Jacket, like, comes into play. Like, we're calling Charlie there. Like, I remember watching that movie, just like, is this movie about me, Dad? And he's just like, no. And he, like, made me watch this movie. And I don't know, before I watched Full Metal Jacket, like, I was like, oh, I'm proud to be an American. I want to fight for my country, blah, 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 blah. And then I watched Full Metal Jacket about, enlisting in the army and all that stuff. And the one quote I hear is, we don't want chinks in our chain. It's like, so when you ask, like, should we be more sympathetic to these Karens? It's just like, no. I mean, if they're hurt by it, then they're hurt by it for their own reasons. So we shouldn't, like, make it like our mission to, like, start defending anybody named Karen or Becky or... Here's the thing. Yeah. All right. So with that said, should we sympathize with Karens? Hey, look, I can empathize with Karens because whatever. Like, yeah, if somebody's just like, you're just a Karen, you're like, how'd you know my name? Look, there's a way to make that funny and possibly make some money in a comedy career. So, no matter where you go, there you are. So take it how you want to take it. But no, we don't need to show sympathy. We could show a little empathy, but a name is a name. So yeah, Karen, whatever. I think the whole idea of just labeling them Karens is completely stupid, but let's continue.
Now it's just y'all time. Kind of like how anybody named Chester, they go Chester, molester, or whatever the hell it is. You remember that in the South?
I've never met a Chester.
Yeah. The real life Karens just got to ride the wave like Chesters did back in the day.
They need to talk to the Beckys, because Becky's has always been a term. Becky's been a term around since, like, the 80s for these white women. So they need to look to the Beckys.
For these white women? White? What are we, Stewie Griffin? Some Miracle Whip? Miracle Whip? Just, I don't know. White women?
See what the Beckys did, and then just sit down somewhere.
Becky's were more of because Karen carries a much more negative connotation than a Becky. To me, a Becky, as I'd always thought of it, was kind of ditzy blonde, or it was a very, very freaky white woman that likes black men. Like, those were the two.
No, that's a Crystal.
Okay. What? I didn't know that. Well, in Alabama, Becky has two meanings.
A Becky was just a white. Well, a Becky was a white, but a Crystal is, this white girl. She
I knew a white girl named Crystal.
Black dude's haircut. She always
keeps
too many rings on. She got a bunch of mixed babies and drives an Impala and smokes Newport.
With the bop, with this.
Dulce, how do you not see that what you just said right there is no different from what you claim to be so against? How do you not see that? Clearly, because you're looking down, like, you'll never find a rainbow looking down. Look up.
Swoosh over her eye?
No,
like only one eye?
See, that's the I want to see a manager haircut. That's different than the I date black dude's haircut.
So that's a Susan.
No, there's a because the thing is the I date black dude's
Josh, I'm totally with you.
Like a white imitation from black
Yeah, it's like T-Boz. It's like a TLC. It's any hairstyle.
Right.
Like
so any
T-Boz.
hairstyle that T-Boz would have had, these are your crystals.
Wait, so what are all the names? Y'all
learning a lot, Josh.
Names.
Right. Well, there's a Tyler. We all know Tyler's are, the cool white boy that always had a fade and was probably on the basketball team. White tees are very much.
Clearly, we need to address, like, what? Like, okay, I've known Tyler's, I've known Becky's, I've known Crystal's, Karen's, like... Dulce. What is the experience that you have had personally with these Karens, these Beckys, these Tylers, the Crystals, the Jennifers, the Ashleys? What experience is fueling this disdain that clearly you have for our sisters, our fellow sisters? Like,
his bag. He's the only white boy in the crew. But you allow it because, he's tall and can play basketball.
okay, so in this scenario, in your group of, I'm assuming, just black-skinned friends, since, here comes Tyler, the white kid, who is the one white kid who plays basketball and this, and you just accept him, that's Tyler. So now for you, anybody in that situation who comes in that situation is going to be Tyler? Like, if I all of a sudden came to your school at that time and I joined the basketball team, are all the Asians who hang out with your peeps and the Tyler now going to be the Charleses or the Charlies or the Chucks or what? What name are you going to give me if I was at your school playing with Tyler? You don't have to answer, but answer that to yourself.
So, yeah, he's just a white boy that's always in a random, just crew of black dudes that plays basketball with them. And again,
So
drives
Tyler
in
has to play
sometimes
basketball.
Smoke Newports. But
Smoke
would never date a Crystal because they would never date each other.
Exactly. But he addresses black women as queen.
Yep. He's still gonna waste your time. He just called you queen to start with.
Exactly. Just like when people of that black world come to me like, oh, man. All right, so Josh, Roy, just thank you for just staying in the light and just not letting anything, no darkness just come into this. Excuse me. So, Dulce, Candy, talk to me. We've never really had a chance to one-on-one, get to know each other. I'm sure you've never seen my, comedy, at least compared to how much I've seen you, yeah. Like, I look at you and I'm like, oh, wow. Like, here's this new face on, TV. Cool. Like, I don't have animosity anymore. Like, I'm not the comedian who's just like, wow, is this person? It's just like, hey, good for you. Like, if you can see her, then you could be her, right? Like, okay, Charles, if she can do it, then I can do it. I mean, I don't want to do it, but ultimately, yeah, like, that's my excuse. So, yeah, I'm not like bitter or anything. I mean, like, the silver lining that I use is just like, okay, yeah, if you can see her, you can be her. Let's apply that to me. Here's how that applies. Like, I know that commercial advertisement marketing plan was like strictly speaking to women, but do those advertising companies like think like, what is the male population watching this gonna think or feel, or like, so like, it's just a bunch of whys, what. But again, Dulce, what is it that caused all this not God view of these people, these women, and the guy, Tyler. Like, ask yourself. I mean, I'm sure you did. If I may, just my sense of intuition. I did some research on you. And just, like, hey, we can't trust everything we see on the internet, but hey, it's the only source I got. So, like I do, when I just kind of want to get an introduction for myself on who I'm talking to, I'll just look that up. And yeah, you're somebody who's on, the internet with her own profile. So what does it say about Dolce Sloane? Like, who is Dolce Sloane?
According to Wikipedia, Dolce Sloane is an American stand-up comedian, actress, and writer.
Cool. Doesn't say you're black or anything. Like you just keep reminding us you are. Like, born on the 4th of July. Whoa, crazy. 1983, 38, Miami, Florida. Nationality, American, just like me. Cool, my sister. Alma mater, Brunel University. I went to CU Boulder. I don't know where Brunel is, but hey, at least you went to a university. Like, who is Dulce Black Woman? It says you're just an American stand-up actress, writer. Occupation, actress, stand-up comedian. Does Dolce Sloane speak Spanish? She's bilingual and was a translator before going into comedy full-time. After graduating from Brunel University in Gainesville, Georgia, she went into administrative work, flexing her Spanish-speaking skills. Quote, I was in bilingual customer service or bilingual admin, end quote, Sloane said about her day job before comedy. I was a bilingual customer service. Yeah, you were in customer service and like, did you get... Now, who is the black woman on The Daily Show? Jessica Renee Williams. Los Angeles County, California, USA, born July 31st, 1989, is an American actress and comedian best known for her work as a senior correspondent on The Daily Show as co-host of the podcast Two Dope Queens. I've heard of Two Dope Queens. I can't put a face to this, but I don't know. I don't know if Dulce, you take offense to that, like, I'm the black correspondent. Again. Yeah, but like, how does that make you feel? When these Jessicas take your spotlight. Is my intuition just far off? Am I just ice cold? By the way, everything I just read about you, there was nothing that said you're black. Nothing. So why are you feeling so black? Not like the light is like, why are you taking the identity of the black skin victim as your voice rather than taking this bilingual voice that you have and were using before comedy to speak to us? What happened there? What happened between you doing customer service as a bilingual to the time that you then transitioned into comedy and then transitioned into the voice of a comic who is a black woman who just is pissed off at white Karens and Beckys and Crystals and Tylers, Joshes, but not you, Josh, or Roy's, but not you, Roy, or Charlie's. Charlie, no, I mean, it's just like, when is it gonna stop?